You can't teach me values. Values I learn when I see how you live them.
Everybody has their own story, and it's very important that people tell their own story.
We believe that theater is a way to humanize the other. It's a non-violent weapon to liberate ourselves and to liberate other people.
With words, we find that sometimes we only reproduce what we already know. With the theater, we can explore it. We use all our senses. And because of human beings, we are more than just words and thoughts. There's a lot of other reality beyond that.
We have no privilege just to witness the reality. We are privileged enough to change the reality.
The idea is that we actually manage to overcome possible prejudices, to develop empathy, mutual understanding and respect. That's why we are here, to actually meet, to get to know each other, to work together in drama workshops, in writing workshops, to get to know more about Augusto Boal and the theatre of the oppressed, and to also jointly develop a performance. The idea is that this meeting triggers off some sort of snowball effect, that you think about possible activities in your countries as well, that you write pages for peace, that you have your drama workshops with your local drama educator, and that you possibly, hopefully, even have a performance and even think of other activities back home.
Please, everybody, introduce yourself to the people who are next to you, but we don't introduce ourselves in a regular way. We do it this way. My name is Chen.
My name is Clara.
And now I introduce myself to the one on the right, Chen.
Kira.
Kira.
Yes.
And you do the same. No, but now you have to...
Oh, I see.
That's...
Clara.
István.
Now I'm going to challenge you, and I ask you to introduce yourself, but not to the person next to you, but the next person next to you. And I think we have to stand up for this.
That's like impossible. Elizabeth, you're too small.
our first lesson is that we have to stretch ourselves in order to know other people. And the second one is that we have to get closer in order to meet more people.
It's the exceptional experience that young people may have in these workshops to meet with other people, to do a very exceptional kind of program, because theater, pedagogical workshops are not being done in schools. Some of the youth centers may have it, but normally people are not confronted with this kind of exercise, and doing this in an intercultural setting, it's more important. And I think it's the experience which is the real benefit of the project.
Joe, Umut,
Rafaela.
Philip.
Ow! You say your name and you make a gesture that tells us something about you, something that you like doing, something that's very typical for you. And when the person makes it, then we all repeat it. The whole circle repeats the name and the gesture. So we all say, Aurel. Sabine.
Ahmed.
Kira.
Gülşin.
Kirsten.
It is clear that we live in a very complex world, and this complex world can sometimes become very irritating because we live in a society, if we acknowledge it or not, that is multicultural and multilingual, and also with different values. And I think we have to deal with this, and to deal with it in a very constructive way. So we have to find out what our values, our convictions are. We maybe will find out that other people from other cultures have other values and other convictions, and we have to deal with that in a very constructive and non-violent way. So this is one ability that students have to develop, this kind of non-violent conflict resolution.
Three people together need to build something, and that's a house. Can you sit down? And we said like this. Can you all do this? Yes. How many are we? In our houses, who doesn't have a partner? When I say person, then the persons in the house change places and they look for a new house. When I say house, the houses change places, and you can build another house with another person on top of a person, or with another part of a house on top of a person. When I say rain, everybody changes, and houses become persons, and persons become houses. We'll try it out? Yes. Person.
Person, you choose.
Person. Change.
House.
So the house is changed. Another person.
So please tell me.
House. Houses.
Who's left? I think it went especially well. It was extraordinary how focused and how motivated everybody seemed, how willing and ready to do theater and to explore this new language. That was impressive.
Yeah, I was impressed too. Since the first exercise, even the name game. So it was people were so creative to present themselves. You know, I really felt after the first circle that I know most of them. And then the complete image exercise was, I think they were very creative and courageous.
And you could get the feeling that they were a group. They felt as a group of people who are on a mission, and that was so special, beautiful.
Ani. Ohevet. Otar.
Yeah.
2, 3. 2, 3.
3, 2,
3, 2,
3, 2.
3.
Okay, is it clear?
You do one. Okay. 2, 3. 2, 3.
Boom, 2, 3. Boom, 2, 3. Boom, 2, 3. Augusto Boal. He used to be an avant-gardist theater maker in Latin America who refused to reproduce the same classical models of theater that came from France, from Italy to Brazil. And he insisted that everybody has their own story, and it's very important that people tell their own story. So at a certain point in time, he decided that his theater would not be a theater providing answers, but a theater of questions. So during military dictatorship in the 60s in Brazil, after a time of propaganda theater, he realized that the people have the solutions and the knowledge how to transform their reality. What we do is the result, and it's a theater movement that has gone through all the continents, and a lot of countries, over 80 countries in the world, have theater activists that work with these methods, and they give a lot of space for people to tell their own stories. It's really the most important thing.
First meeting.
Apologize.
Apologize.
Very formal.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'm sorry.
Blind date.
Blind date. No. Okay. No, you have to remain freeze. You don't react to the interpretations. Okay, and Aneta, I would ask you to leave your partner, and you stay freeze. And I would like another volunteer to come up on stage. Create another sculpture. We change the meaning of what you've seen there.
He kissed his girlfriend.
That's another thing, that we see the past of the present. This is the present, the theater, the picture that we see on stage. And what's your name?
Yeah.
Mia has already imagined the past of this picture. He kissed his girlfriend. Relationship, conflict, we have past. What else do you see here? What do you see here? Argument. Fighting. Okay, Ahmed, return please, thank you. We are going in few paths in this week. One would be the theatrical journey that will end up with a performance, or we don't like the word performance, but we share with our audience, with our spectators, which are in Theater of the Oppressed, the method that Birgit and I are working. There are no spectators. There are only actors. We are privileged enough to change the reality, to take an action. So in this perspective, we are both see ourselves as actors. Actors in the meaning of people who take action. There was a lot of curiosity and a lot of energy in that sculpture. What I saw in it was a group of people which is not cohesive yet, but they concern and they care about the same thing. You were all focused on this conflict in the middle. And it was fascinating to see how much energy is invested in the sound, in the words, and in the people who cares about the same thing. And it's a very, very moving place for me to start with a group, to see what's the intuition and what's the motivation of the people, to what's the departure point of the group. Relax and sit in the circle, please. Thank you very much.
Follow me. Yes.
I'm putting some pictures, the most important persons and the most important places of my life, or the most important moments. I try to all put it on one poster, but it's kind of hard.
We taking photos in our country and we glue stick on it this paper and we show what we are thinking, where we are going, like this.
I'm actually starting to make a poster of myself. Well, you've seen that other pupils are using pictures, but I don't have any pictures with me. So yeah, I'm just gonna draw some things out of my life that are important.
I think the most important thing for a fine life is to have friends in the family which are available for you, that help you, that support you whenever you need it. I think if you got something like that, it's very good for you. If you got something beautiful, it's not beautiful if you can't share it with somebody.
In the beginning, it was we were a family with mom and dad, me and my brother.
Okay.
And then I had my confirmation because it was the best day in my life. And I got a trip for America. And then my parents got divorced and I have lost the contact to my father. So this is my only family now. And this is my little brother and I and my dog.
I would say education is very important in my life. I dedicate most of my time to studying and reading on the internet. Friends and family are important, but they're not as important as education.
They're curious. That's the most important. About each other and about what they're going to find out about themselves also.
My family, of course, and my friends, they own a big part of my life. And of course, to reach my goals, especially now through education. It's the first thing.
I think the most important for me is to feel happy and be happy. Yeah. And I want also others to be happy, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be happy because then I see that other people are happy, and I see if people are happy, then our world becomes happy. And I really believe that every single person can change the world. If we change our hearts, then we can change the world. It's an amazing project, and because I believe that I'm here to represent my school and to represent Denmark, and I need to connect with all these people and change something with our hearts. And then we come back to our countries and we can change something in our school, in our families, and it really helps. Because I think in our world, we just think all the time about computers, about television, and we start to think about our inner senses, inner emotions, because people forget about it.
It's important to make the presentation. How do they present it? Then we'll use that as a basis to find things that they share and have in common and maybe make some scenes out of that.
One of you will start to sculpture the other with his or her image of oppressed. If you are sculpturing her, it's your image, how you did yourself as oppressed.
Okay.
Please don't speak only, only the body. We are teaching each other our image of oppression, of oppressed. So let's see all the images now that you have done. Walk around in the exhibition, and now you see various images of oppressed people. Try to see what is the most resonate, or the sculpture is calling you, that you feel that is very similar to yours or different than yours. You switch roles. When you are ready, when your sculpture is ready, you just leave him or leave her and walk around the space and the exhibition and try to find your own resonate oppressed image. Sometimes we choose a sculpture and we don't know why.
And then you come back, and you complement the image again and you give it a new meaning. theater, the time becomes more intense. When you talk with images, you bring a lot of more information in the room all of a sudden than when you were just telling one story, because all of a sudden there are many stories in one room. Usually in these theater workshops there's one very important rule, and that means that you look after yourself. So most of the time when people look after themselves, they also look after everybody else. Yeah? When you're careful with yourself, when you respect your own needs, when you act according to how you feel and what makes you feel good, then usually that brings a lot of respect in the room and a lot of good working atmosphere. There is no right or wrong. There's only the way that we create. Augusto Boal, he was our teacher, the man who invented this sort of theater, and he used to quote a Spanish poet, Antonio Machado, and he said, there is no way, you have the ways, you make them by walking them. Okay? So we all invent our own theater way here. You could see how everybody was craving for harmony and avoiding conflict, like everybody was only talking about the beautiful things in life. Friends, sports, good food, traveling. So in the afternoon we had to look for the differences. And we had to give space to the fact that we all have desires and that they're sometimes not the same, that sometimes we're in conflict. And we tried to work on the idea that conflict is a space for learning. And it's not something negative, but it's through this and through the differences we can learn. And then we were working in small groups of 4 and trying to look for these complicated issues through images. That's easier than looking for the words. And we found that the 5 groups who were making images, they connected, and they found out that they had similar issues, and that truly surprised them. So still being aware that every country's context is very, very different, as our participants' contexts are, but they were still, they recognized part of themselves in the others.
You also have here family, I think. Children, could be children.
Could be.
So the collage is dedicated to family, and you have work in the cooling or a class of students.
So it's very good to see that. We're talking always about the family life, and it tells a lot of me personally. It is a very sad thing. I have a sad life.
That's not true.
We
didn't get that impression.
Yeah, but I have really sad life, but I don't have the feeling that I'm sad or I'm lonely or something like that. I feel very happy and have strength, and I'm very surprised to see this, or that you are so familiar, so together. And I'm always in the class, and the class is for me very important, and there I have a lot of people and my colleagues. But at home I have only 2 children, and that's all. And my father, my mother, I don't see so much. And I was 17, I left. And I have a lot of stories about my life.
In our country, this is normal that we all live together. Family ties are important. So,
but you have to study, and I have to leave the home because it was in another town.
I left when I was at the university, and now I'm living far away from my parents. I mean, my mother and from my father and my sisters, my brothers. They live in another city. I live in another city, but we are always trying to find time to. I mean, even in summers, we just arrange some time, force ourselves to be together, because the family ties are.
But there is a baby though.
Yeah, very important.
Yeah.
We call it ethics education. You could call it human rights education. You could call it peace education. It's working with values. It's trying to better understand and respect each other. And we do it all under the umbrella of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. We see it, what we do, as a contribution to the implementation of the Convention for quality education. We have developed an educational manual, which we call Learning to Live Together. And this is the program on ethics education, on value education. It's a manual for the teachers. This is not for the students. It's for the teachers, it's for the youth leaders. And it's resources to work with children and young people. And in a way, it's a pedagogical approach. We have talked, since I came yesterday, also a lot about how to change attitudes, how to work with approaches, and this is exactly what it is. And we have developed this together with UNICEF and UNESCO, who have endorsed it and spread it to, in their constituencies. In the top here, you write the name of a person that means a lot to you. In the left hand, you write what is your religion. In the right hand, what is the music that you like. And in one of the legs of the star, you write a place that you like. It can be a country, can be a city, can be whatever. A place that you like. The other leg, your favorite activity. You walk around and you read, without commenting, you read what the others have written. Now I would like you to, 2 by 2, share with each other what you have written. Who is the person that means the most to you? What is the music that you like? What is the activity that you prefer to do? Probably found some differences with the person you talk to, but I hope you found some similarities also.
A lot of us like to travel. They're all places where we feel comfortable and calm and safe. For example, we had the woods or under a tree, and we also had the seaside and parents' garden, but all of them had in common a fact that they are safe havens. With differences, we don't really talk about differences, but religion is the obvious difference. It's not really a central part of, well, talking to other people. You don't define yourself by your religion to begin with. It rather centers around what makes us as human beings, what we like, what we enjoy doing. And we found that, in fact, the difference came when we were talking about age rather than religion and background.
Okay, let's listen to next village. What kind of village is this?
It's really a cosmopolitan village, and I would like to say that actually every person has something different. We can find in our group that many people like Jewish music, or we share the same religion, some of us, but actually each person is really original and we like different things. So that makes us.
So there are both similarities but differences.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, because when we share like this about who we are and our what we like and what we don't like, where we come from, also our values, as you have done in the project here before you came here, we learn, of course, also something about ourselves. There is a French author, Boal, who wrote to his student who was supposed to go to London, from Paris to London, for 1 year as a student, and he wrote to him and said, after 1 year in London, you will know London well, very well, but you will know Paris even better. And in one of the first workshops, there was one young girl, the age of you who are here, because we were so focused on this with values, and we had identified among all the good values there are, we had identified 4 values: respect, empathy, responsibility, and reconciliation. This will make it easier and better to live together. And then this girl said to us, "You can't teach me values." We were first a little bit taken back, but of course she's right. She said, "You can't teach me values. Values I learn when I see how you live them." How do you learn the value of respect? Through empathy. Take off your shoes and really, literally walk in the other person's shoes, and you will see how there is a feeling there which you cannot imagine. But when you try to put your feet in the shoes of someone else and then walk, then you start to get to understand what does empathy really mean.
Okay, this is very simple, but now you have to be aware only for the one who's on your left. Thank you very much. It calls the rainmaker. We'll have to wait until it will rain, and if it won't, we'll have to do it again.
So my name is Markus Bernhard. I'm running a print workshop here with you. In this print workshop this afternoon and tomorrow the whole day, we're going to do interviews and we write news stories. And we want to do this on the principle of positive reporting. We want to overcome the conventional way journalism is done, the conventional way I'm doing journalism, in fact. That means bad news are good news. If it bleeds, it leads. That means if there's some blood, some crime, some bad thing on the story, then it's interesting for the people, then you can sell your story. It's not the way at all I'm doing my job. I'm for a news editor here in Vienna at a daily newspaper, Der Standard it's called. I'm doing this for 20 years almost, journalism, and I'm earning my money just with bad stories. And driving up here to Europa House, I was trying to remember the few good things, positive things I did, and I remembered only 2 stories, in fact, I did.
the fact that it's called articulating values, and it's like it's a, of course, values is a container term, but on the other hand, it's so broad and universal that people can relate to it without thinking that they have to join into something that they have to reflect on. Do I want this or not? No, values is something that everybody will say yes to, because it gives you the opportunity to think, my values will be in there too. But doing that, you will meet other people who have, of course, different values. We're all unique, and it means that you have to interchange. There is no other way of developing or articulating your values is through doing this with other people. So the meeting effect and the merger of all these values is the next thing that must happen if you have a project like that. So it's a very clever concept. I talked to a lot of people and they said it's a very clever concept. Because everybody is for it. I think nobody can be against it.
Theater, everybody can understand.
Yeah.
It's art.
I think this is the most important thing. So we have the same language here, the drama, you know.
And then you have this type of theater, which handles and was created to cause change, to produce change.
I believe that all these methods are rather easy to use methods, and the fact that the youngsters and the teachers have experienced them, they lived them. It's not that we talked about it. It's the fact that they were on the ground and they lived the whole process. So now it's up to them to appropriate this project, this method, I mean, and to try to find the way to implement it their own way. I mean, these are not rigid methods. These are methods that were born with Boal on the ground, and they can be transformed, they can be changed, and I think they will be, depending on the circumstances of the people who want to work on these specific issues using these methods. I mean, the most important thing is these are methods used to reach a certain number of objectives. These are not the finality, these are not the objective themselves. So what they need to know is what their objectives are, and it's up to them to use these methods or other methods, or to transform these methods. And whatever they do, they will be implementing the project, I think.
Methods are tools, and they can be used for a positive way, but also they can be used as a weapon. I mean, really negatively. There are different kind of methods are used, for example, in the framework of non-violent conflict solution and so on and so on. But these can be also weapons at the same time when the objective is not clear, when the awareness is not there. Where do I want to go? What does it mean, cultural understanding? Does cultural understanding mean what I tell you what it is, and I use the method in order for you to understand what it is? Or do I really leave it open and give you the possibility to understand and to discover and to change as well? Yeah.
We'll go straight to the images that we've worked on yesterday.
Don't forget that you're you're above us. You're not in the same level as us. Okay.
Don't even make eye contact. Is everything all right? Can we leave it at that? Yes, I think this is a good end scene.
Do you want to rehearse?
You were depressed and I, with my nose up, I say everything's all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Open your eyes.
Leave him. Try again.
I love you.
I love you!
I love you. Thank you.
The relationship is clear, the oppression is clear, or as a title, it's clear a man is oppressing his woman, right? But there is more to develop here, like the character of the antagonist, and it was very interesting to choose the words only I love you, because sometimes I love you on stage can be I love you, and there were I love you which were very oppressive. Yes. So they can use the word, the phrase I love you with even in many different meanings. So you see how theater allows us to represent text in a different way.
Daddy.
Ready? Oh no! My kids! I'm scared!
I'm hoping to get more methods or ways that I can then teach my own students so they will be able to be empowered, know who they are, feel centered, and at the same time feel confident enough to open up to other people and to find out that the differences are not as drastic as they might seem, and that no matter the differences, they will still be able to cooperate and move forward in order to create a better world, which is really what we are aiming to do.
And they should not know anything about what you guys are hiding. Okay? So, can we work around that? Let's bring the chairs as if you're setting the table.
Try to use extreme sounds. Very good. React, action and reaction. The only important thing is the game. So when you know how to play like a child, you can answer these questions about respect, about racism or bullying, and you can throw it away. So when you realize what is your problem, what is your badness, you are going to be a better man. And you can realize it when you play it, or when you see it in another man.
Instead of that friction being so hard and harsh on people, I think using these methods makes it smoother in a way and lessens that pain. Because again, it's happening from these people who are going through that, you know?
I'm making a fake advertisement and I need a fake logo for that one. So, just trying some things.
I like the font you are using.
Yeah?
Yeah, it looks like real fonts used in ads.
So now I would like to show you some other technique, which is called polarization technique. You know, we have a lot of differences, we have a lot of similarities, and we have a lot of assumptions. Right? Assumptions, does everybody understand? What we think that the other person thinks, and we spend a lot of time thinking what somebody else thinks, maybe thinks, and then maybe we find out it's something completely different. Prejudice also, but just also assumptions, you know? Sometimes like people think, oh, this person is judging me, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's a person who just wants to find out something, or is new in the city and just has a question, you know, things like that. Or we have a conflict and we assume that the person is angry with that, but maybe it's not true, you know? I want to find out now as many differences that we have in the group that we can, at least 20. Now we don't have so much, I'm sure we could find many more. And there's a very easy way of doing that. And I'll show you. And for that, I need all of you to stand up. Who, like me, has a younger brother? And everybody who has a younger brother, come and stand with me. Oh. So we go back. I do another one. And then every one of you who has an idea can go and say, who like me, right? So, who like me loves swimming?
Who like me is half something countries.
What?
I'm half Danish, half Moroccan.
Oh, half. Okay. Who is belongs to more than one nationality? Who comes from two countries?
My grandmother. Like mother from one country and father from another country.
It's just my grandmother.
Who's mixed?
Immigrate to another country.
Even if the parents did?
Yeah, it's you.
My dad.
So you can go if you somehow identify with this.
Yeah, my grandmother.
And what do we have?
Young brother, love swimming, party, music, classic music, play piano.
Divorced parents,
yes.
Divorced parents. There was a big. No, there were.
Yes,
the groups were pretty
yes, the other here.
Pretty half. Not exactly, but yes.
Different nationality of the parents.
No, this was also.
Love mama.
There was not a separation there. The people who are somehow have a family history that is connected to immigration go here, and the other people go here. You think you belong to this group?
So.
Because you have a story of migration. So here are the people who have in their story of their families and their own life a story of migration. And,
immigration.
Immigration. Okay. So here the people who do not share this experience. We will just show each other things. And we'll just take our times in looking, feeling, seeing what there is. So you, who do not have this experience of immigration, I invite you now to make a statue, a static image of how you see yourself. As somebody who has always lived and grown up in the same place, make a statue of how you see yourself. Make an image, okay? And now you make an image of how you see yourself as the people who have this immigration experience. Stand in a line and make a little space in between you, so. And just see what there is. Now you have to make one image as a group. And you have to find something that you want to tell them, a message that you want to give to them, but you have to express it in an image. And you also. Now you find a group image, you have to agree on an image, something that you would like here, some information, something that you want to tell them.
Let's try the first picture.
Yes.
The first picture is where we're like far apart from each other. Separated and weak and, for example, not welcome.
The first picture is how they see us.
Okay.
So how they see us is just like, okay, we're like a minority, they see us, they underestimate us. So we're like poor.
We are strong and that it is something positive.
Okay.
In a way. And now there are two persons there, one for the E and one for the C.
Yeah, I think so.
We can. Okay.
No.
Yeah, in this direction. So.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, Euro.
I know. Okay.
Okay, Euro. Yeah.
I will walk around and I will touch you on the shoulder and then I will ask you, say your sentence. Okay, so you have one sentence that you want to say about how you feel or what you think in the first image, and then also one in the second image. Maybe you have one for all of you if you want, because you have this this image of unity. So maybe you all want to say the same, if you can find the same.
I have more than you.
Not in that way. I don't think so.
No, there is more.
You can say it's maybe it depends on how you say it, because if you say I have more, if you say I have more, it's like more I have more.
There is more.
There is more. Yeah.
Okay.
It's no. Okay. Up there. It's a word.
There is more. The French is il y a beaucoup. Donc we are in unity. We are looking for the future, and we look like the citizen, even though we are the strangers. So we was the strangers, but right now we are not the stranger. We are citizens. So we look like the citizen, even though we don't have the same culture or something, but we are citizens and we are looking for the future. So we have more.
Mam więcej w sobie.
Il y a beaucoup.
Mam coś więcej w sobie. There is more!
So we're going to show each other now. We're going to show each other now. Yes, we're going to show the other group what we have, and they are going to show us what they have.
We'll do two images of the teachers group. The two images, the two polarized images, and the topic was revenge. The aim of this session now is to expose the materials, to expose the themes and the topics that both groups were dealing with. Okay, so you see two groups, two different groups, how they see themselves, and the title is Revenge. And now the second theme was how they, the other group, see us. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. If you need few seconds, 2 seconds to stand up and to see from different dimension the image, you can, because it's three-dimensional, all these images. And what you're seeing now is a consequence of a discussion that was made inside the group about who we are as a group and how the other group is seeing us. And keep on saying the same word and the same phrase that we will understand more, that the image we will communicate more.
I'm falling. Little devils. Got you.
You can walk around the images and listen and see what you get from it.
Falling. Falling. Now you learn. Falling. Falling. Now you learn. Falling. Go on, fall. Now you learn. Falling.
We did it slightly different. We have the first two images show how do we think that the others see us. How do we think that we are seen by the others?
Migration.
Yes. So again, there is also sound and some words that the images speak.
I cannot communicate.
I'm more than
Get out. Accepted. I think I don't belong. I deserve more.
Get out.
Accepted. I think I don't belong. Not accepted. I think I don't belong.
Get out. Get out.
And now we are going to show you the images of what the groups want to tell each other, the message that they would like to give each other, and what do we want to tell them now as a reaction.
Burada daha çoğu var. Mam coś więcej w sobie.
Mam coś więcej w sobie.
There is more.
Try to interpret identities through the images. Try to think what were the identities that this small group was dealing with.
You must eat. Studying it. You must eat. Have you done your homework? Have you done your homework? Can't you see I'm eating? Have you done your homework? Can't you see I'm eating?
Any ideas what was the identity that this group was dealing with? Teacher and?
Working mom.
And a working mom. Did you interpret any other identities in the images?
It was something that looked like activists or something, but I don't really know what that was.
Activists?
The scarves here.
Looked to me the opposite. Looked to me very heroic.
Open your eyes.
Leave him. Try.
I love you.
I love you.
Close your eyes. Open your eyes.
I love you!
I love you!
Okay, thank you.
think the method really helped everybody to come together and broke the ice in a way that I felt immediately when I came, that everybody wants to know the other, to know the other, wants to get a bit deeper. And I think the impression that you work with values which are really appealing to everybody all over the world made everybody talk in the same language, and it was easier to communicate. And there were really a few clashes, which was surprising for me because these kind of events might be full of conflict, but we managed to overcome them.
Racism, I think every group had one image about racism, but we also had war. You know? We had war, we had religious conflict. We had a lot. One interesting thing was the role of women in the past. So, like, everybody wanted to agree that the women's role everywhere has improved a lot, and that now we're free, and we're the same, and we're equal.
Show your weakness. Yes, if you're strong, you don't need to touch anyone. They will do what you want from them without touching. And then just stroke where it hurts.
You were stage hand. Thank you.
Respect!
Respect!
Respect! Respect!
Wonderful, you must have listened what happened just yesterday. Just imagine what happened. Come on now. You shouldn't listen. What happened to the volcano in Iceland? Yes, the volcano in Ireland. Anyway, the party was amazing. Yeah, okay. Right, yeah. Any problem? Yes. Yeah. Stop. Sit. Stop. Sit.
Please don't go. I must. I love you, don't leave me. I have to finish my journey. nice little baby there. Ooh.
Congratulations, you did really well. How are you?
Yeah, fine, and you?
Could you sign it for me, please?
Of course. You are the best.
Take it. It's for you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, sorry, please.
Ignorance. You're not one of us.
That's so normal.
Monday morning at the office.
Oh, hi, Hillary. Oh, yeah, I'm at the office again Monday morning, yeah. Hillary, I have to know, our dog is sick. It hasn't eaten for 3 weeks. What can you help me? What can I do? I mean, we are so worried.
Good morning. Oh, I can't believe you made it to the office.
I have to run. Yeah. Morning, Therese. Good morning, dear.
Hi.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Oh, wasn't it a party?
Oh, I'm still tired.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you see Ronnie?
Oh, Ronnie,
you know Ronnie. Bottle of champagne, boom, and then I love you, Marianne. I love you, Marianne. I love you, Marianne. And I found them in the toilet.
I know, how disgusting.
And
what a guy.
He couldn't even get into that taxi.
I know.
Good morning, girls.
Good morning.
May I introduce to you a new colleague, Mr.
Badal Underbad.
Yes. He will work in our office now. Please show him all the work. I have a meeting now. I have to leave. Goodbye.
Yeah, no problem.
Please
take care of that.
Yeah, and Anne, did you see Anne? Anne, her,
I know,
and her high heel.
Excuse me?
I know.
Hello, excuse me?
Yeah, what is
Do you have a chair?
Oh, why don't you get yourself one? There's one over there.
Okay.
Yeah, and you talked about Anne.
Brian, he's 10 years younger than she is.
I know, isn't that? I mean,
he's still a president.
Do you have the password?
Yeah, he's a president.
Do you have the password? Do you have the password?
What?
The password for the computer?
The password.
Yes, the password for
Can't you speak properly?
The password for the...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1?
Oh, come on. Here, I write it down. You don't understand.
Do you have the fax for the cabinet to the computer?
You know what? Why don't you bring us a coffee?
It's
coffee.
It's coffee time anyhow.
It's
coffee time. Yeah.
You know what coffee is?
Yes, coffee.
Yes. Can you bring coffee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where's the kitchen?
Okay.
In the corridor. The corridor.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Thank coffee coming.
What's all this about?
You know this language? Did you hear you? I mean, I can hardly understand you.
I can't either, and I don't understand why an Indian. Why should an Indian have this job in a good old Austrian firm?
He's a little smelly, and that's from the food.
Oh, their food, yeah. Curry. Rice and curry, oil. Is that food?
Yeah, and this is why he smells, you know? He even smells spicy.
He even looks spicy.
But you know what? You know how they prepare the food?
I don't.
They prepare the food with their poor hands. They don't use spoons and such, you know? And they eat with their hands. Did you know that?
No.
But they don't only eat with their hands, they...
Oh my God!
They don't use toilet paper.
He's using our bathroom.
Oh, disgusting, you know?
He's making our coffee!
Coffee, please, yes. Coffee. And sugar, yes. Sugar.
No, thank you. That's fine.
Okay.
So everything is okay?
Oh, fine.
Yes,
Fine.
yes,
No problem.
Yes. You have shown him all the work?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Certainly.
Yes. You're fine?
Oh yes, he's great.
He's fine. I will show him our big computer. Please come with me.
Okay. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Okay, goodbye. God, I nearly touched him.
So it's the working place scene and the restaurant scene with the topic of discrimination. We're going to show it again, but this time you can stop it. And our actors will freeze, and you have the chance to come on stage in one of the roles of the oppressed person, or whoever it is you choose, and try to change the reality of the image.
Excuse me. Hello, excuse me. Do you have a table? No, a chair?
Why did you get yourself one? It's over there.
Stop! Applause! Who would you like to replace?
I would like to replace him, and I would like to start when he comes in.
Wonderful.
Very good.
Hello, ladies. I just want to sit in between you, so I get my laptop. Okay, but I'm from India. My pronunciation is very bad. I have to tell I'm from India. Maybe you don't understand. Pronunciation is very bad, and I just want to tell you, I know you're right. Yeah. I'm from India. We are talking such a lot from India, and our food is so delicious. I want to show you. We have very spicy food, you know. And now I have to know the password.
It's our coffee break now.
Oh yeah, great! Bring me a coffee.
Nobody wants to change their own mind.
It's very important to raise these subjects, and I think theater is doing a good service to these kind of topics because it puts the situation on the stage, and then you have to face it and to realize that you have to solve it.
This week was really intense, and we get to know each other really good with these exercises of theater. Justin, who was a refugee from the Diakonie Mödling, and I also didn't want to break up this contact, and afterwards we wrote a lot, and then we also meet, and I hope I will meet him again so that we can stay in contact.
There are many theater forms where you are allowed to participate in a way, or you're allowed to take action as an audience member. However, what is different here, somebody explains to you or assures you that it's okay to take that action. So if you do see that thing, and it's so, because in other theater forms it might be so provocative and you might see it and you want to do something about it, but because there's that barrier in most of it, or because we enter the theater space thinking, no, I don't want to cross the lines or anything, and I walk out really angry or really pleased, but here you can see it, you can decide, you can get up there and be a better person.
From that workshop we did, so that meeting that we did, I get many friends. They are helping me in my life, for example, learning the language German.
Young people who are really triggered by the idea that their values are important because they're in a stage of their lives where identity is growing. So it means that they actually feel very much in focus of the project. The teachers, they look upon it from a very different perspective because they are the ones that convey values. I think they have learned, some of them have learned this week, that values is also about themselves, about their lives, about how they live, what kind of example do they give to their students or to their children or to anyone. That they matter also as a person.
I came to more and more appreciate the exercises and culminating in that performance where it was actually put to a test, because it wasn't just a happy show, happy faces and people proudly presenting what they had learned, but there was conflict and tension in the scenes and also in the form theatre where the audience was invited to interfere. That was very impressive.
I learned how to be self-confident, more self-confident, and I learned how to solve problems through alternate means, through theatre and through articulating values specifically.
Working with the bodily expression, you actually have to reflect on concepts like peace, freedom, discrimination and so on. So you really go through a very reflective process.
Getting to know each other, building trust and learning to listen to each other is something that is very important in the classroom, because in my English groups I very often realize that the kids only listen to the members of their peer group and they kind of ignore the others. So if we're sharing stories, there's never all of them listening and paying respect to each other. So I'm probably going to do that if I realize that something's getting to a really serious state where people are becoming outsiders of the class.
I had nothing to do with theater before I came to Vienna. It was all new to me. And I didn't believe that I would see myself on a stage in front of 200 people. Never. And it was great. The power of the theater, I didn't realize it. I know the power of art. I never thought that the theater will be so special.
The most exercise that I liked was the images thing. I knew that from an image you can interpret many things. You can understand from one image, and you can interpret many different ideas from only one image when you froze on the stage. So it was the best exercise to me. And then we discussed about these images that we did, and it was a great exercise.
All the people that I had come in contact with had seemed to agree on the same values. Right, we're all open-minded, we all know it's important to respect everyone, all right. And then the conflicts came out on that last day when we were creating the scene and when the scenes were presented. And the big challenge is what you do after that and what you do with the conflicts.
I'm from Palestinian origin, and there are people here who are Israeli, and we actually sat and talked about how each of us sees the conflict. And I've always been very curious to see how the other side thinks without getting into the whole aggression or fighting back and forth about who is right and who is not right. Just trying to understand where each person is coming from and at the same time making our own ideas, our own convictions clear.
Yesterday's performance was just brilliant. There's nothing more that you can say. We've all come such a long way that it's an amazing experience that happened. What else can I say?
I think it's very courageous of Intercultural Centrum to introduce this, because I mean it is really something that might be quite controversial in some countries to suddenly express themselves bodily and to introduce these methods. So I think it's courageous, and I think Austrians should be proud of themselves for doing that.
The students and the teachers can meet if they are both on the same level, and I've seen that. I've seen hierarchies fall during this week. On the other hand, you see that the momentum of the project is really with the young kids, because they are the ones that feel that they can change and do something.
It's not me only who had suffering. So there is also the other people which have been in this life, in life which I'm living. But right now the life of them are good, are better. So I just say, okay, I still have hope that also my future will be nice.